शङ्करांश भूम शङ्करार्यपीठसद्गुरून् शुद्धसत्त्वभासुरान् सुवर्त्मनीतभूसुरान् सर्वभूतसौख्यदान् क्षमाकरान् यतीश्वरान्।
श्री गुरु चरण द्वंद्वं वंदेहं मथित दुस्सहद्वंद्वं भ्रांतिग्रहोपशांतिं पांसुमयं यस्य वसितम् आतन्ते. So this is the Mangala Shloka or the text Svatmanirupanam of Shankaracharya. The Shloka means the devotion to the Guru, the obeisance paid to the Guru is very nicely brought out there. The purpose of the obeisance, what it means is so nicely brought out there. Shri Guru Charana Dvandvam, the 2 feet of the Guru, the great Guru, is actually conveying the idea of Parabrahman, the Jnanam of Parabrahman, which sets aside or negates the notion of duality. Matita Dussaha Dvandvam. The notion of duality results in samsara, and the Jnanam that is represented here by the Guru's feet can dispel the Ajnanam and samsara. So that is the meaning of the first line. Dhranti grahopashantim pamsumayam yasya bhasitam atante. So here in the next line the Acharya says Dhranti grahopashantim. The Dhranti is the delusion that we have about our own self. So the delusion is likened to a spirit which has possessed the person. So the spirit that possesses a person is here the Dhranti that has overtaken us or that has deluded us, or we have come under its delusion or its spell. So that is the Dhranti, and that Graha Upashanti in the traditional systems, the witchcraft, the person who is a sorcerer, he is able to remove the witch, the problem of the witch by certain magical or certain actions or certain mantras and all that. So here in our systems, sometimes what they do is the person who is possessed of a spirit is taken to the sorcerer or the mantravadi, and the mantravadi sprinkles the vibhuti on the person's whole body or head or whatever, and that is said to drive away the spirit possessing the person. So this is the idea conveyed here in this. That simile is taken here. So the Guru's 2 feet are like the mantravadi who can render the devotee free of the delusion. Dhranti grahopashantim pamsumayam yasya bhasitam atanate. The 2 feet and the system, our bhakti system, Guru Bhakti system, also holds that the dust of the feet of the Guru are very, very holy. So pamsumayam is the dust of the feet. So the feet are filled with dust, which are likened to this vibhuti, which is used to drive away the spirit called Ajnanam or Bhranti that is possessing us. So this is the meaning of the shloka. Shri Guru Charana Dvandvam Vande Nisaha Dvandvam Matita Dussaha Dvandvam Bhranti Grahopashantim Pamsumayam Yasya Bhasitam Atante. So with this revisiting the Mangala Shloka, we enter into this Svatmanirupanam, where we had left last time. The 98th Shloka, I will share the text with those who do not have later through WhatsApp. I will share the text. Of course, there is an English translation also, that also I can share later. So here, in the 98th Shloka, which we had read in the beginning, in the last class, the commentary we had not looked into. So I'm just going back to the Shloka. Idanim Brahmano Anyadapi Vastantaram Asti iti mate api Astitva Rupena Brahmaiva Uchate Vadibihi ityaha. In the previous shloka, he had said Brahman is the only entity according to Vedantas. So everything else other than Brahman, that is the Jiva, the Jagat, and all that is not real. They are all Mithya. They come into the category of Mithya. So this is the Vedanta Siddhanta. Now, in this shloka 98, the Acharya is taking up the question of the possibility of the various other schools, that is non-Vedantic schools, who hold the world to be real and the Jiva also to be real and different from the Ishvara. That is, the Jiva is different from Ishvara, the world is also different from Ishvara, and the world is real, Jiva is also real, Ishvara also is real. So this is the kind of doctrinal points the other schools have, dualistic schools have. So here the Acharya says, even those schools which hold duality to be real, even in their case, they will have to definitely agree or admit that the reality that they are attributing to the Jiva and the Jagat also comes from Brahman alone. So this is a very nice point he is making. So here in the shloka, he says, Asti anyaditi matam ched tadapi brahmaiva cha astita rupam vyatiriktam asitayaha nastitaya shunyameva tatsiddham. So what happens is, if they agree ultimately that the existence that the world and the Jiva have are derived from Brahman alone. So what it ultimately means is, the Jiva and the Jagat do not have an existence of their own, and that way they will be automatically rendered unreal or non-existent. So that is the point he is making in the second line. Asti anyaditi matam ched. If someone were to say that apart from Brahman there is something else, tadapi brahmaiva cha asita rupam. Even they will have to agree that the world or Jiva, they derive the reality only from Brahman. For this, we have got the beautiful example of snake, where the rope is the substratum, and that is the real object there. But someone who is not able to see it as rope, he concocts a snake in the place of a rope. So he says, instead of saying the rope is, he says that snake exists. So upon analysis, what we come to know is the existence or the easiness that he attributes the snake, the non-existent snake, is actually borrowed or wrongly transferred from the rope. So the rope alone has an existence there, but not the snake, which is not at all existent. But that person, out of ignorance, he transfers the existence of the rope to the snake. So the snake, which has a dependent existence on the rope's existence, is really non-existent. So this is the situation in the analogy. So in the same way here also, if someone were to say that there is something else other than Brahman that also exists, then in their case also, that something else is, or the other thing derives its existence only from Brahman. So naturally, that other thing has to be rendered mithya or illusory. That's the idea. Going to the commentary of that shloka, asti anyat brahmano anyat iti matam ched vadina tadapi vastantaram api astitva rupena brahmaiva bhavati. That's what he's exactly conveying here in the commentary. If someone were to say that apart from Brahman there is something else, then that something else also has to be accepted to be existing on the existence of Brahman. So the Brahman's existence alone is being assured by them to the other thing also. So that's what he says. Astitvam Brahmano anyatra nasti. So astitvam, the real existence or easiness, can be there only for Brahman, but apart from Brahman, nothing else can be said to be existent, or nothing else can be said to have existence. Apart from Brahman, nothing else can be said to be having an independent existence. So that is the astitva vyatiriktam nasti rupena anyad vastvantaram asti iti ched tatra vyatiriktam iti. So Astitva Vyatiriktam Nasti Rupena Anyad Vasutantharam Asti. If someone were to say that apart from the concept of existence, there is something else which is called a concept of non-existence. If someone were to say that, then this is what will happen. Vyatiriktam Vinnam Astitayaha Astitva Rupat Nasitayaha Nastitvam Shunyameva Shunyarupattvameva Tat Nastitvam Satam Tad Anyavadi Nam Asyeva Gadamityataha. So if someone were to say that Brahman is existence, because in the Veda also, in the Upanishad also, Brahman alone has been said to be Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That Satyam is existence, that pure existence, which is there for Brahman. Or which actually it is, we shouldn't even say that it is Brahman's existence. Brahman is existence. So existence is Brahman. So that's what it is. So if someone were to say that if they have to posit an object other than Brahman, then they will have to say that other object is not existent, that is non-existent. So naturally, automatically that object will become non-existent, that is shunyam. So this will result in their case also. And very interestingly, we can also observe that in the Advaita school of philosophy, they have accepted two types of realities. One is independent reality, which they call Swatantra Satyam, and the other is dependent reality called Paratantra Satyam. So Paratantra means dependence. So they, for them, Vishnu, who is Brahman for them, alone is having Swatantra Satyatva, that is independent reality, whereas the Jiva and the Jagat, everything other than Vishnu, right from Lakshmi also, they are all to be having only dependent existence. So their existence is dependent on the existence of Brahman, that is Vishnu. So naturally they also have to agree that the Jiva, that is everything other than Brahman, is having only a dependent existence. And naturally for us, as we have just seen, the concept of dependent existence can happen only in the case of the superimposed snake or superimposed silver or whatever. So in such examples only we can have that dependent existence instance. So this is what is conveyed by that shloka 98. So moving on to the next shloka, the Acharya introduces that shloka by raising a question. Nano Brahmatiriktam kimapi na bhati chet vidusham sharira vyavaharaha katham sambhavati ityakankshaya maha. So now we have no doubt at all about the unitary aspect, that is the Advaitic aspect of Brahman, that is Brahman alone exists, nothing else exists at all in the Paramarthic state, that is in the absolute standpoint, Brahman alone is and nothing other than Brahman exists at all. That is the Siddhanta of Vedanta. So now the question arises, okay, now someone has realized is that Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma, that Jnani is there. So how is that Jnani's life going to be led? How can he lead that life if Brahman alone is the sole reality? So that aspect is being discussed in this shloka. Brahma atiriktam kimapi na bhati chet vidusham sharira vyavaharaha katam sambhavati. The Jnanis, naturally, the person who gets aparoksha jnanam will not die in that moment itself. He will live out his life as per his prarabdha, and only after this life has ended, he will not be born again. So till such time he will be called a Jivan Mukta. So how is the Vyavahara of the Jivan Mukta, the body maintenance and all that, how will that happen if Brahman is the only truth, only reality? So for that, this shloka is coming as an answer. Tattva avabodha shaktya stirataya baditapi sa maya adeh patam yesham abhati atmapi ayam nijo vidusham. So here the shloka, the Acharya accepts that Brahman alone is the one, but then he gives a very important reply also he gives there. Tattva avabodha shaktya stirataya baditapi sa maya. Maya is the one which is called avidya also, which is the one responsible for the ignorance and the products of ignorance, that is the world, the body, everything. But then now that Maya has been dispelled, that is, it has been destroyed, by the power of this Atma Jnanam. Tattva Avabodha is Atma Jnanam, Aparoksha Jnanam. It has firmly, without leaving any trace, it has destroyed Maya. But then, even though Maya has been set aside or negated, still it will continue to appear to be the world and other things till the fall of the body of this Jnani. Dehapatam is the fall of the body or the death of the Jnani's body. Till such time, Yesham Abhati Atma Ayam Nijo Vidusham. So this Maya will keep appearing till such time the body, the death is encountered by the body. So this is the idea of the Jnanis. So this sloka is for about the Jnanis Vyavahara in the post-Jnana, pre-death scenario. So coming to the commentary, Tattva Avabodha Shaktya Atmaikatva Jnana Shaktya Stirataya Vikshepadi Rahitattvena Vaditapi Sa Maya Mithyatvena Tiraskritapi Sa Lokaprasiddha Sharira Vyavahara Rupa Maya Adehapatam Maranavadhim Tesham Vidusham Brahmanishtanam Abhati Mithyatvena Abhasite Mithyatvena Abhasite Swarupo Advayananda Satyaswarupena Bhati Prakashate. So the Atma also will be shining for him as Aproksha Jnanam, Aproksha Atma, and he will know very well that that alone is the true reality, but he will also know that the Maya, that is the product of Maya, that is the body-mind complex and the world of objects and all that, will also continue to appear for him. So for him, now he will see that only as an appearance, just like a person who knows that the water that is appearing in a mirage is not there at all really, but still that appearance continues, the phenomenon continues, but he knows the truth of the phenomenon. So in the same way here also, the phenomenon of the world continues to appear to him, but then he will know very well that it is not real. So that is the idea conveyed here in this commentary. Tattva Avabodha Shakti Ekatva Jnanam is Aham Brahmasmi and Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Neha Nanasti Kinchana, there is nothing other than Brahman is there, no duality is there at all. So such statements have given him this kind of a jnana. Stirataya Vikshepadi Rahitattvena Vaditapi Sa Maya, that Maya has been dispelled by this Atma Jnanam very, very firmly, clearly, without any remnants at all. Vikshepadi Rahitattvena. So Vikshepa is actually the projection. Avarnam is the concealing part of it. That is, in the case of the rocksmith also, the avidya regarding the reality of the rope there is the one which conceals the person's intellect. So he is not able to know that there is a rope here. But then this concealing power of avidya will not remain quiet. It will also project something else there. So there is a projection is called Vikshepa. It will project the snake there. So that is the job of the avidya. So here also the Maya had concealed his intellect about the true nature of his own self, and it had also projected the world and the body-mind complex and all that for him. So now, by the power of this Atma Jnanam, that concealment has gone, but then the projection is now as good as gone, but he knows very well that it's only a appearance, not a reality. So Vaditapi Sa Maya Mithyatvena Tiraskritapi, it has been rejected as something non-existent, something which is an illusion, as mithya. It has been rejected as mithya. Sa Loka Prasiddha Sharira Vyavahara Rupa Maya Adepatam Maranavadhim Esham Vidusham Brahmanishtanam Abhati. So this Maya, it will appear to be there. It will show him all the appearances of this body-mind complex. It will also give him the feeling of sukham, dukkam and all that. But all of them he will be able to know that if they apply only to the body-mind complex, but not to the Atman. So it can do all that. But then it's all an appearance. He will know that it's all an appearance. Brahmanishtanam abhati, mityatvena abhasate, atmapi. So along with that, the Atman's shine is also there experienced by him without any doubt at all. So now the next another question is taken up. Nano Sharirapata Paryantam Vidusham cha Prapancha Bhanam Chet Vidusham ko Visheshaha Ityata Aha. So now the question is, if the world is going to, the world is said to be appearing both for the jnanis and ajnanis, what is the special thing about the jnanis? That is the question. See, even in the case of jnanis prarabdha or the post-jnana life, he will have to definitely interact with the world and interact with a lot of other people also who are not jnanis. So for them also, for example, if he says to a disciple or to some devotee who is not a jnani naturally, fetch me a glass of water. So the water that the disciple gets is known to him as water only, and to the jnani also as water only. So this kind of situation is being spoken of here. So for the person who is in ignorance, water is there, and for the person who has got out of ignorance, for him also this water is there. So what is the distinction that is the question raised here? So that is being replied in this shloka. Yesha visheshaha vidusham pashyantopi prapancha samsaram pratagatmano na kinchit pashyehu sakala nigama nirnitam. The question, the reply is so very nice. He says, Acharya says here, this is the distinction between the jnani's jnani's view of the world and the ajnani's view of the world. So for the jnani, even though he is perceiving the world of objects, for him, he knows very well that it is mithya. So it does not have a reality apart from his Atman. So that this sloka does not use the word mithya. It is saying that through some other phrases. So what it says is, what this sloka says is, for the jnani will see the world as non-distinct from himself. That is, just like a person who is having this mirage perception, he will know that the water is not there really, and it is not distinct from the ground on which it is appearing. So the ground, he knows, is only dry land there, but then water is only in appearance there. So he knows that this appearing water does not have an existence apart from the marubhumi there. So in the same way here also, he will know very well that the world that is appearing to him through his senses and all that does not have an existence apart from his Atman. Again, we can go back to the rope snake example. The person who has known that it is only an appearance, the snake is only a superimposition. Supposing that there is so we can think of a case like this. A person perceives or mistakes a root of a branch of a tree to be a snake. So if he comes up to that same spot again, even though he has known that it's only a root and not a snake, he can think of the snake and he can see the root as similar to the snake, but then he won't be deluded. So even if the snake were to give him the appearance of a snake, if the root is to give him the appearance of a snake again, still he will not be deluded. The same way here also, he will know that the world does not have an existence apart from him, so he will not take it to be real. So that is how does he come to this conclusion? He has come to this conclusion through the power of the teaching of the Veda, that is the Upanishads. So the Upanishads have very clearly informed him that the only reality and everything else shines only by the grace of that reality, or borrowing that reality from the Atman alone, everything else shines. So the dependent reality idea has been very clearly known by him, so he will never be deluded. This the commentary is, Yeshaha ayam visheshaha vidusham jnaninam yat pashyantopi chakshuradi indriyehi vyavaharantopi santaha prapancha samsaram mayikam vyavaharam atmanaha pratak atma abhinnam chit kimapi na pashyehu. So this is the distinction between the ajnani and the jnani's views of the world, that for the jnani, even though he is seeing he is perceiving the world, interacting with the world, chakshuradi indriyehi vyavaharantopi, he has the when the body is there, definitely the body has the instrument called the sense organs, the mind and all that. So through that alone, he will also interact with the world. Through these instruments only, the Ajnani also will interact with the world. So when he is doing that still, even though he is even while interacting with the world or contacting the world, he will know that the world is mayikam, that is, it is unreal. Vyavaharam atmana. Tatat atma bhinna kinchit kimapi na pashyeyu. He will not see anything as distinct from Atman at all. Everything is Atman. So, ahameva sarvam, sarvoham, that idea has very, very clearly got implanted in his mind. So, he will see everything as himself, that is non-distinct, non-different from himself. Sakala nigama nirnitat sarvopanishad vakyehi nishchitasya atmanaha sakashat anyatena bhavai. So he will not think of anything apart from the Atman or the Brahman, which has been very clearly realized by him as the sole truth. So, see, just like it is something like a person who is taking the view of gold with respect to all ornaments. So he knows that all ornaments are gold only. So he doesn't give importance or focus. He doesn't focus on the ornament part of it. He focuses on the gold part of it alone. So we can also say that a goldsmith, for example, he is not bothered about the design of the bangle or the necklace or that something which someone comes to sell to him. So when he is buying that necklace or bangle from someone who wants to sell it, so this goldsmith will be concerned about the gold only, but not about the design and pattern and all that. So in the same way here also, he will be concerned only with the Mula Karanam or the Upadana Karanam of the Jagat, which is Brahman, because in the foregoing, we have been clearly taught that the world is only a product of Brahman, but the product is something like the rope appearing to be distinct. So here also, he will see the world as only non-distinct from Brahman or non-distinct from the cause which is Brahman. So here we will end this session. Shri Guru Charanar Bandvam Vandeham Shanti Grahopashantin Vam Sumayam Yasya Bhasitam Asante Shastram Sharira Mimamsa Devastu Charya Shankara Charya Santume Jan Vidyavinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tatvajnam Vidushekara Bharati.